Admiral Kexthul stood in the command center of the Zephyrian Imperial Station, his scaled hands gripping the metal rail as he watched the star charts on the main screen. The station floated at the edge of their territory, a massive structure of dark metal and glowing lights that served as the Empire's first line of defense. For 20 years, nothing had challenged their borders. Nothing had dared. The alarm sounded suddenly, sharp and loud in the quiet command center. Red lights flashed across the control panels as officers rushed to their stations. Commander Veltar, the station's second-in-command, ran to the Admiral's side with a datapad in her clawed hands. "Sir, we have an unknown contact," she said, her voice tight with concern. "Patrol Ship 7 reports a vessel that appeared on their sensors 12 minutes ago." Admiral Kexthul turned his yellow eyes toward the main screen. "Show me." The display changed to show the outer rim of their space. A small dot blinked on the edge of the sensor range. The numbers scrolled rapidly beside it, showing size, speed, and energy readings that made no sense. "What type of ship is it?" the Admiral asked. "Unknown, sir. The computer cannot identify it. The design matches nothing in our database." Admiral Kexthul studied the readings. The ship was small, maybe half the size of their patrol vessels, but the energy signature was strange. It showed power levels. That should have been impossible for something that size. Where did it come from? "That's the problem, sir. It just appeared. One moment the sensor showed empty space, the next moment it was there. No jump signature, no engine trail. It just materialized." The Admiral felt a chill run down his spine. Their sensors were the best in the galaxy. Nothing could hide from them, and nothing could move without leaving some kind of trace. Yet this ship had done exactly that. "Send 3 interceptors to investigate," he ordered. "Tell them to approach slowly and keep their weapons ready." On the screen they watched as 3 Zephyrian fighter ships moved toward the unknown vessel. The fighters were fast and deadly, equipped with the Empire's most advanced weapons. They had never met anything they could not handle. "Captain Jake?" Morrison sat in the pilot's seat of the human ship Wanderer, looking at the console in front of him. The experimental drive had worked perfectly, but it had also taken him much further than planned. According to the navigation computer, he was somewhere near the outer edge of the galaxy, far from any known human territory. "Well, that's not good," he said to himself, running a hand through his brown hair. He was alone on the ship, testing the new drive system for the Terran Deep Space Division. The mission was supposed to be simple: jump to an empty sector, test the drive, and return home. Instead, he found himself in unknown space with 3 alien ships heading straight for him. Jake watched the approaching vessels on his screen. They were sleek and dangerous looking, clearly military ships. Their design was unlike anything in the human database, which meant he had stumbled into territory belonging to a species humanity had never encountered. "Sorry folks, wrong neighborhood," he said into his radio, broadcasting on standard frequencies. "We'll be on our way." He started the process of charging the drive for another jump, but the system needed a few minutes to cycle. The alien ships were getting closer, moving in a standard intercept pattern that Jake recognized from his time in the Terran Navy. Admiral Kexthul listened to the transmission in amazement. The voice was calm and casual, speaking in a language the computer quickly translated. The being called itself human and seemed completely unconcerned about facing 3 Imperial interceptors. "Human," the Admiral repeated the word. "Computer, search all records for any reference to this species." "Searching," the computer replied in its mechanical voice. "Limited references found, mostly from traders and explorers. Reports vary widely and contain many inconsistencies. Species status, unknown." On the screen, the interceptors reached scanning range of the human ship. Immediately, warning signals flashed across the command center displays. "Sir," Commander Veltar called out, her voice filled with alarm. "The interceptors report their shields are being penetrated. The human ship is scanning them with technology we cannot block." Admiral Kexthul watched in growing concern as the human vessel somehow looked right through their most advanced defenses. The scan was unlike anything he had ever seen. It was not aggressive or forceful. Instead, it seemed gentle and thorough, as if the human ship was casually examining everything about their technology. The scan lasted only seconds, but in that time Admiral Kexthul realized the human ship had learned everything about their weapons, shields, and engines. The casual ease with which it penetrated their defenses was more frightening than any attack could have been. "Interceptor Leader, report," the Admiral commanded. "Sir, the human ship has completed its scan. It's not taking any hostile action. It appears to be preparing for departure." On the screen they could see energy building around the human vessel, but it was not the familiar glow of any drive system they knew. Space itself seemed to bend and twist around the ship, as if reality was being folded like paper. Jake Morrison finished the jump calculations and activated the drive. The Wanderer slipped out of normal space as easily as stepping through a doorway. One moment it was there, the next it was gone, leaving no trace except the memory of its impossible presence. Admiral Kexthul stared at the empty space where the human ship had been. In 17 minutes, everything he thought he knew about the galaxy had changed. The human vessel had appeared without warning, casually scanned their most advanced ships, and then vanished as if it had never existed. The silence in the command center stretched on as everyone tried to understand what they had witnessed. Finally, Commander Veltar spoke in a whisper. "Sir, what do we do now?" Admiral Kexthul continued staring at the screen, his mind racing with terrible possibilities. If this was just one human ship, operating alone and apparently on a routine mission, what did that say about the rest of their species? What kind of civilization could build technology that made the Zephyrian Empire's greatest achievements look primitive? "Seal all records of this encounter," he said finally, "and send a message to the High Command. Tell them we need an emergency meeting. Tell them everything has changed." As the command center returned to its normal operations, Admiral Kexthul remained at his post, staring into the empty space where the human ship had appeared and vanished. He had served the Empire for 40 years, had seen the conquest of a dozen worlds, had witnessed the surrender of countless enemies, but never had he felt as small and helpless as he did at this moment. The human ship was gone,